Bow down before my psycho power.
Harada is once again considering adding Mokujin to Tekken. The last time this character was playable was way back in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 when I personally really fell in love with the franchise. I always respected Mokujin players because being able to play so many different characters on a whim. This round you're playing Devil Jin, this round you're playing Lily, this round you're playing Eddie. I just had so much respect for players who are capable of doing that, and I also think Mokujin just represents a key part of Tekken. In the past, Harada and Michael Murray, they were talking about the roster and things that make it feel like Tekken.
The explosiveness of Paul, or maybe you need a pro wrestler like King from the start, or maybe animals or something that when people think Tekken, this is what they need.
And I think Mokujin is a big part of that. He's just like a part of Tekken's brand, Bandai Namco's brand. That's why you see like them put like emotes in the game and avatar skins in the game, is because he is a part of Tekken. But I also feel like there's some things that holds him back from being a true playable character. And right now Harada is considering bringing this character back, and the only thing that is going to make that a reality is whether or not players really fight for it. You know, I'll talk real briefly about the lore because I know people don't care about story at all, but I always think it's so fascinating that when Azazel ruled over humanity like 2,000 years ago or whatever, Mokujin was kind of created in that era. I wonder who created him? Why did they create him? Why does Mokujin just target all of these different gods? Ogre pops up, he immediately activates, let's go kill him. Azazel reemerges, Mokujin is on it. Jinpapi is possessed by a demonic spirit, Mokujin's on the job. I just wonder, what is the story behind that? And if he is added to Tekken 8, I wonder, will they dive into it in just a small way? This is already something that people are talking about. It's like, will the DLC characters who's added, Eddie, Armor King, so on and so forth, will they get a what if ending? Will they get some Tekken 8 story? The characters of Tekken 7 didn't get that. I do want to say as well, if Mokujin's added, he should be free. If it's not free, then what are we even discussing? Well, maybe not. I don't know. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Do you think there should be a price involved? Here's the tweet that sparked all of this 49 minutes ago at the time of recording. Can we please get a playable Mokujin? Genuinely would love to see it. Easy money spent for me. Harada says, Mokujin. There's another tweet here that was made immediately after this. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let's go backwards. Let's talk about him and his journey through Tekken 7.
Harada might add Mokujin to T7. You do realize Mokujin is different. When Mokujin copies a character, he's not the same.
Like I said at the start, the last time Mokujin was added to Tekken was Tag Tournament 2. There was a bunch of tweets, I have 3 of them here, where people wanted him in the game. Someone at the very start, 4/27/17, please put Mokujin in Tekken 7. Harada responds, at this time he's trolling. He says, in this case, it's better to answer. I got a complaint from my mother who likes gardening. What is that supposed to mean? Almost a full year later, Harada responds to someone who says, I know you tell us not to ask for anything, but is Mokujin planned for Tekken 7? Regarding Mokujin, I'll consider it if there's many requests. The final tweet about Mokujin over the course of Tekken 7's lifespan, someone asks Harada, are you going to add Mokujin to Tekken 7? Or no. Harada gives the straightest answer I ever seen and says no, not this time. This tweet from Harada flew under the radar, but it always captivated me. He said no to Mokujin being added in Tekken 7, but will he be added to Tekken 8? This is what I started to think as the game was being marketed. And now playing the game, the full game, I think Mokujin would be crazy in this game if they did add him. Here's the thing about Mokujin. Ares has a really amazing video in Tag 2 that depicts this perfectly. Yes, Mokujin copies the person he's imitating fighting style, but he's able to do things that the character is not able to do, and vice versa. His height difference means that his reach, his wingspan is different.
In this combo video, it shows that Mokujin can do shit as Dragunov that Dragunov cannot do, which is forward 3, step kick, forward 3. You know, forward 3, cancel, crouch dash, forward 3, over and over again. So this will likely exist if they bring Mokujin back to Tekken 7. It's a pretty interesting and cool thing. It's very hard to do though. It's comparable to like Nina Williams butterfly combos.
The tricky thing about Mokujin, I feel, would be to balance this character. I already don't know how they're going to balance things in Tekken 8. As for Yoshimitsu, I've been watching a lot of gameplay. I see people doing extreme flash combos, and I see just complete madness. And I don't know if these moves were intended to be used this way, or if the developers is looking at this stuff and saying, oh my god, we created a monster, we need to nerf it. So I think the first patch update that they do is going to tell us a lot about the trajectory of Tekken 8 and how they really want us to play these characters. But I think if you add a Mokujin into the mix on top of that, it's going to be chaos what he's capable of. But also, I like the chaos. I'm a Yoshi main, bro. Madness is where we thrive in. I would love to see what Mokujin can do versus what Yoshimitsu can do. Both of them imitating each other's fighting style and just be able to experiment. One thing about Mokujin that you gotta mention as well is like, he's a confusing character. For someone who shows up to the game and they look at the whole roster of characters and they're just brand new. They look at Mokujin, they pick him, they're like, oh, this character's cool, who's this? They pick him with no explanation. They're going to be confused as to what's happening. Every round a different fighting style, and it's just going to be kind of like off-putting. That's kind of why I feel like he wasn't added to at the start, is just because he's a confusing character. It's a character that needs to be explained, and Tekken 8, they're really like shifting everything towards teaching people, making it easier, and Mokujin is the most brutal out of all characters. 1 minute ago, I took the screenshot on 243 votes. There's a total of 12 hours left. In a future video, I'll show you the completed version of this poll, but I'm pretty sure yes is going to win. But here's the thing, right? Everyone will pretty much unanimously say yes, put him in the game. But will people play him? Will the developers' time and effort be worth it? What would Mokujin's usage data looks like in a couple of years? See, here's the thing, right? I feel like Tekken 7, it got too much focused on like try hard to, oh, you know, you got to be the best, and who's the best, and, you know, tournament viable, tournament tier list. Tekken, it's at its best when you're having fun, and Mokujin is a character who truly represents that fun mindset, that fun like wacky gameplay, and I think adding him in Tekken 8 would be extremely beautiful. I normally don't request characters. I learned my lesson after requesting Kunimitsu and then being disgusted by the outcome, but for Mokujin it's different. What he represents is amazing. Now, let me just bring this up while we're on the topic of gimmick characters, wacky characters. Combat? No way. I do not like Combat, and I do not want him added to Tekken.